Welcome everyone to the 15th episode of Lawn Care Skull Sessions. I'm Ben from Catch Pro Australia. This is BJ from TBL Property Maintenance. BJ, how are ya?
Good, man. Yourself?
Probably been a little bit better. First week back into it properly, and one of my employees has COVID. I mean, he hasn't tested positive yet, but one of his family members, I believe, has it. He wasn't feeling very well, and he was at the village and tools down and just left straight away.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's probably going to be out for about 7 days.
Yeah.
Which puts me right back into on the tools.
What was the New Year's resolution for you, mate?
To stop cutting grass and to just focus on Catch Pro.
Straight back into it.
But I do want to say, I won't mention him by name just in case he doesn't want that. But hope you get better, pal. And me and Rusty, we're doing our best to keep the village in good shape.
Yeah, man. I hope you're feeling better.
And so, yeah, I mean, hey, with the borders open and stuff, this is what's going to happen now.
Yeah, I think there was 30,000 cases or some crazy shit like that today.
In Queensland?
Yeah. Well, there was 10,000 new cases, but there was already like 20,000 cases yesterday.
And I think New South Wales might have broken the all-time day record.
Yeah.
Not in like the world, but Australian record for COVID cases. So, I mean, that happened, and then we've got rain.
Yep.
I just picked up 100 Catch Pros, which I have to clean and build and send out.
Yep.
So it's been crazy. I mean, I like being busy.
Yeah.
But today, now BJ's fresh off the tools.
I haven't. Yeah, I just came straight here from work.
Yeah, you don't smell too bad either.
I was worried about that.
No, it's all good, mate. But me today, oh boy, like mowing in that pouring down rain and got stung by a wasp.
Jealous. Yeah,
I sort of thought of that.
Man. Oh yeah, I've had a shit start too. Fucking wisdom tooth out on Sunday.
Oh yeah, tell everyone.
Yeah, man. So I just had I've got wisdom teeth bumping up and down all the time. I still had all four at the time. Went to the dentist. He's like, oh, it looks like an easy one to come out. An hour and a half later in the chair, it finally comes out, all stitched up. 2 days later, the packing's gone. I've got dry socket. I'm sad. I took 20 Panadeine Fort in 2 days.
Should have shelved them.
Did it? Yeah, I should have shelved. I should have got you to come over.
Or at least snorted one.
Yeah, I should have got on the endone train or something. But yeah, like you've had it before. It's useless. Painkillers don't work for that sort of shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, hey, because it's the nerve pain, right?
Yeah, it's exposed bone as well.
Yeah, so that pain relief, doesn't work.
The best thing was I rocked up to the dentist to get it packed the second time, and I said, "Oh, you're gonna have to pull some gum out of there." He goes, "What?" I was like, I packed it with gum, so the air wasn't getting to it, and the bone and everything was sort of hidden. But yeah, I feel like a piece of shit though. I was like, someone hit me up last night, told me he's loving the podcast, and I go, yeah, man, I've had a bit of a shit start. He goes, I've had cancer, and I'm like, fuck, I feel like the biggest piece of shit. But he was cool about it, man. He's a year along. If I had my phone, I'd grab his name. I feel so bad, but I was so clubbed when I was talking to him.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing worse than, when you're venting and something's going on and then, they throw out one of those things my dad just died.
Yeah. Literally the last 4 days have been 5 days, I've just been absolutely clubbed to the max. But you got to do what you got to do to get through, Uncle Ben.
That's what we're always doing. Now, before we get into today's topic, a few shout outs. Now, Ben Nutting from YouTube says he absolutely loves our episodes. He's listened to every episode twice, and he's requesting a second episode per week.
Wow.
So, hey, thanks for that, Ben, if you're watching. Good name, by the way.
Yeah.
Mate, we would absolutely love to do that, and we probably could. So just to give everyone a little bit of insight, BJ and I, we shoot once per week.
Yep.
And the reason why we don't shoot multiple episodes in a row and then just bank them is because we're trying to stay relative with what is happening in the industry.
That's it.
You know, like if there's a new machine that comes out or, you know, COVID related, you know, new regulations and stuff, we instead of having banked up old content, we try and, you know, keep it fresh. But hey, you know, if there was more requests for it,
maybe if we were
sponsored,
if we had a few sponsors,
if we were sponsored, probably.
Yeah, like we're still like, this is just absolutely free. Like there's hours of time that goes into the podcast, and don't get me wrong, I love doing it, but I just make it that little bit sweeter.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'll do anything for money.
That's it. Anything, Ben?
Now, also want to mention and say just thank you in general to our audience. We have a 5-star rating.
It's so cool.
So, you know, like we're thrilled about that, and not many haters. Hey,
every week it blows me away. Like we've had a few shout outs from like the Lawn Lab in Bundy. What's happening, boys? O'Neill's. What's happening, man? These guys have shared our stuff on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Which is awesome. Like,
you're the Instagram guy.
Yeah, I get around that. Insta slut.
Bloody. Also, Gary Ashton, I was listening to the latest episode of Aussie Lawn Stars, and here's my voice.
Yeah, that's what I was like, what?
Also wanted to say, if anyone hasn't checked it out yet, check out his latest episode with Ryan Walker.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great interview. It was an awesome piece of their history.
Yeah.
You know, the Kansas cornfields and, you know, farm machinery and all that stuff. I love
where
all that
Walker
stuff.
started as like a golf buggy and
crazy stuff.
I reckon that was almost as good as my episode. It was that good.
That's the way. Hey, time will tell, because Gary will be able to tell you how many listens he gets per. You know.
I got one too from Matt Barnes on.
Barnesy.
Yeah. He said. On Apple Podcast, he said, thanks for the content. He enjoys the info and the banter. Man, we'd love your feedback. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And quick little shout out to Troy Cox. He just bought his first ever Catch Pro. Well done. You just paid my rent and bought us dinner.
Ooh. Me? A Mustang for dinner?
So, yeah, well, we'll be filming through dinner.
Yeah,
so
can I have some slop? I still can't eat any solids.
No dinner tonight. No, thank you very much, Troy and MOT, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, just you know, wrapping that up. Thank you for all the support.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know, it definitely is awesome. Actually, Thomas Hegarty, just to quickly, you know, he put a comment there. And he said getting a shout out from us was like getting a comment from Greg Norman.
He must be talking about you, because I look more like Fatty Vorton than fucking Greg Norman.
I sort of got a beak like him, don't I?
Back.
Ski jump. Pichoo. Yeah, good old Greg Norman, eh?
Yeah.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. Because he's about fucking 92 years old.
Yeah, he'd be fucking old now. All right, cool. So
on to business.
What are we talking about, dude?
Contractor etiquette.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, I wish we could, like, when you said that, we could have, like, some, like, music.
Do you reckon I should really just broaden the podcasting thing and get a little switchboard here? I can have, like, loaded up noises.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Nellie's got a keyboard inside.
Oh.
We could just be like...
to play.
Okay, so contractor etiquette.
Yeah.
What sort of topics are we going to be kind of covering in
Look,
this?
man, basically we'll be covering things like how to present yourself to customers when you're going for quotes and things like that. Just the way you carry yourself, your body language, your scent.
Yeah, I mean, look. We'll go through the list.
Yeah.
You know, as far as, you know, people smelling and stuff like that, I mean, we're in a smelly job, right?
Yeah.
But if you happen to know that you're going to a quote, maybe have some B.O. Basher there.
Yeah.
maybe splash a bit of water on your face.
A little bit of Lynx. Lynx Africa.
Oh, damn it, you bastard, you beat me to it. Do people still wear that shit? I know Rusty does.
Does he?
Like he walked in here and the missus straight away was just like, and he's just like, oh, Lynx Africa, and she's like, really?
No way. I actually should get a tin just to take the missus back if we go on a date night or something. She'll be like, oh, I remember this when we first got together.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I could already feel myself going off the edge there. So, okay, cool. So, if we're going to be talking about how to carry yourself, how to present yourself, this really goes out to, if you're an employee, if you're an employer, if you're an employee, if you're a solo operator, this really applies across the board, right? Yep. Now, we should probably tell the audience listening and watching that you and I both are not the most polished individuals.
No.
And we won't necessarily, it's not like we're rocking up to a place in slacks and being like, good day, sir.
No,
but
not at all.
But, we decided when we were talking about topics and thinking about what we were going to go over, the reason why we wanted to touch on this is there's a lot of emphasis at the moment on cowboys.
Yep, 100%.
And we probably don't need to touch on what a cowboy is. I mean, no one really knows. And, I mean, look, we're not cowboys. I'm a little bit of a cowboy. But we just thought, hey, people are talking about it at the moment. Let's chat about it.
I think we're more old school than cowboys. I think we have some old school things that maybe people are like, oh,
well, I don't have any shoes on right now.
I've got stinky old shoes that I've been wearing all day. Not stinky old, but do I really not smell?
No, I don't think so, yeah.
That's amazing.
Because I was not good when I got
home. We knocked out, so we did 6 acres of village today, just mowing. Ugh. And I got rained on, so I thought I'd smell like a big wet ball bag.
Yeah, I wasn't. I know, I wasn't.
Pretty good. But where does it start? I think the initial contact from a customer, maybe.
Yeah, so like even the very first phone call.
Yeah, phone call, message, email.
Yeah, so like if we were going to... So before we get right into it, I just wanted to go a little bit further into you and I aren't perfect.
No.
But we do know what is expected.
Yeah.
And we've had our own situations before where we thought, fuck, I wish I carried myself a little better.
Yeah.
And that's what this is really about.
That's it.
So that, people listening don't potentially make the same mistakes that we did.
Being prepared as well is a big thing.
I fucking love being prepared.
He fucking loves it.
I just love being organised and prepared.
That's his jam. No, but I mean, like, if you get a call for, say, if someone's like, hey, I've got this school over here at bloody blah, and we want you to come and have a look at it. If I can go and have a look at it that fucking day, and I've got a spare shirt, maybe some BO basher, run a few fingers through the beard, on my way.
A little bit of chewy.
A little bit of chewy
for the White Ox breath and mochaccino
I don't
latte.
smoke, but yeah, I definitely have coffee breath.
You don't smoke cigarettes?
No, smoking pill is my game.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's get to the very start then.
Okay.
So let's say someone gives you a call.
Yes.
What sort of things are we going to try and not do?
Number one is pick up the phone and say hi.
Fair enough.
And that's it.
G'day.
G'day. There you go.
Hi, am I actually speaking to a lawnmower man?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how the fuck do I know? I didn't say it when I answered.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So I know where you're going with this.
So I come from not a retail background, but like I was in like customer service as well. Like I'd get orders come through and be like, just habit to pick up the phone and be like, hey, this is Brenton from blah, 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 blah. How can I help you or whatever? But I'm a little bit different now because people are obviously ringing me for a service or something.
Yeah.
Hello, Brenton speaking. I don't do the whole, hi, it's Brenton here from TBL Property Maintenance. How can I help you?
Fuck that. But like, I know what you're talking about. Like if my phone rings, regardless if it's for a Catch Pro, a product, a service, it's always, hello, Ben speaking.
Even though my phone is like like a personal mobile as well as my work mobile.
Oh, bloody oath, yeah.
Everything I do is to do with work now, so
I don't
I
have a personal life
yeah,
either.
it's exactly right.
Unless, like, if you ring me and I know it's you, it's
That's
like,
it.
hey, brother.
Yeah.
Or, what up, brother?
Yeah. Hey, brother.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, probably something else, on the phone. I mean, this sort of translates when you're face to face as well.
Yep.
But try and probably be as literate as you can.
Yeah.
Now, it can be a challenge for some people, being absolutely serious.
Yeah.
But it does help if you can be as literate as you can.
Can you get more specific about what you're talking about?
Oh, I don't usually do that, eh?
Okay.
Well, you know what? That is a dead set freestyle. Then we didn't practice any of that. But yeah, using words like "tasmornin," "nusually,"
Yeah.
"arcs."
Swearing as well.
Probably don't swear.
A quick turn off for people.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We swear in this environment.
Yeah.
Fucking
fly. Try and drink coffee.
And but if you hear me talking to a Catch Pro customer,
Yeah.
I will not be swearing.
People literally talk to me on the phone, and when I turn up on site, they're like, "Whoa, that's not who I thought I was talking to."
Yeah.
'Cause I have quite a good phone manner, and when I'm talking to someone on the phone and my wife is next to me, she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like-
I'm probably a little bit more myself now.
Well, most of the time you're probably talking to contractors, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and that doesn't, like, I don't put them in a different category to anyone else.
Okay.
Truly.
Wait, I'm ditching this coffee into this because this fly is going to make a way to it.
So, I don't treat, that folk any different. But, certainly if someone has said, oh, hey, I've seen you on social media or, whatever, you can immediately relax a little bit.
They know what you're all about.
Hey?
They know what you're all about.
Yeah. So, but if I had a call, if I was working in Greenscape Solutions full time and I had a call from, let's say, a real estate agent or a commercial real estate agent, there's no way I'd be like, yeah, fuck, I'll come around soon, eh?
Yeah.
That's just, to me, it's just a poor display of what your of your business.
Yeah. Same thing goes for like messages, and I mean everything's basically got spell check on it, so you can just use that to your advantage. Because I'm not a perfect speller at all, but I would double check if I'm going to do a proposal for a big client.
Oh, absolutely. It has to be flawless. It has to be flawless.
Because people will go through it and they'll see a spelling mistake. They'll be like, "You did this on fucking Microsoft Word, mate. You didn't even spell check it." Like,
I mean, look, it doesn't. It shouldn't be a gauge of what sort of person you are.
No,
it shouldn't be. But especially in this environment, you and me were pretty honest.
Yeah.
Let's be real. People, they judge.
100%.
Even I do it.
Yeah. Well, look at me. That's what I mean. Like, sometimes people that talk to me on the phone probably don't expect someone who looks like me, tattooed, big beard. They probably don't expect me to turn up to their house and knock on their door.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of the shock. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know that you were coming."
Yeah.
Or someone smaller and less intimidating was coming. But
I'm not home right now.
just looking out the window at me.
Call 911.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I know what you mean. And so the same thing happens with emails, text message, any sort of correspondence.
Yeah.
You really want to be as I think literate as you can. As proper as you can.
Yeah.
And then that way you're going in with a fresh start.
Yeah,
You're giving yourself the best chance that you can possibly.
And
give.
if that's your first point of contact, that is your first impression. And they say that first impressions last. So
now, I just want to also say one little thing that I hadn't really thought about, but it's coming into my head now. Is, let's say you're not very good at spelling, or communicating. So that doesn't mean maybe you're just a shy person, and it's difficult for you to be outward or whatever. One thing that I always concentrated on with Greenscape Solutions in the early days, and also with Catch Pro, even in some areas right now is accentuate the positives and hide the negatives.
Yeah.
So if you're not the most outgoing, exciting person on the phone, don't try and be on the phone for too long.
Yeah.
Hey, be polite. Yep, let's book in this time. This is the services that we cover. Rada.
Yeah.
Same thing if in a face-to-face environment.
Yeah.
Usually in a face-to-face environment, I can get myself over pretty good.
Yeah.
Just by being confident, I guess. But if you weren't, then and you need to sort of let your work do the talking.
Yeah.
Just try and get to those points as soon as you can. Like, hey, yes, we can mow for this, or whatever the case may be.
I agree. And being prepared again is another thing that I found when I first started helped me. When I started, I had Google Earth and shit I could reference. Like I could actually look into a property before I'd go and see it, and that really helped me gauge sort of the quote that was coming and the things that I would talk about, and highlight the positives and hide the negatives.
Yeah, that's what. And it was the same. It was always the same thing with Catch Pro as well. So, I think in the first 6 months we didn't even have a website. We were on Gumtree and we were on social media. And every now and again you would get maybe it was a mower dealer, maybe it was whatever, and it was like, oh hey, can we have some more information, maybe a pamphlet or maybe this and that. And especially with a product pamphlet, that costs money. To get 1,000 of those printed up and made, and I mean, it ended up costing me a couple of grand when I eventually got there, and it wasn't something that I could do initially. And so we used to rely on the things that we could do, making YouTube content, obviously because it's free. And so we would say, look, we don't have any formal pamphlets, but I can send you a link to this video and this will help you understand it. Additionally, I can send you some pricing, rada. So
even in those videos, we had a look at our last video that we posted on YouTube. Even in those videos, you're very well presented, and I've watched all of them, and I know how you were you approach the camera like you were approaching a customer. I mean, look, the chambray.
Yeah, the good old chambray shirt. I am a lot more relaxed now. And I think the difficult thing about me with Catch Pro, now this would be different in a Greenscape Solutions environment, but because I've put myself out there in so many different ways and met people face to face and networked and done videos and everything like that, a little bit more of yourself starts to shine every time. It's really hard to have that corporate hat on all the time.
Unless you're like a natural, like you've got the gift of the gab. This is something that will progress as you quote more and more and more, and as you meet more and more people, you will eventually, be able to just slide into conversations and be able to point out things. And
I mean, carrying yourself if you're a really busy contractor and you're like, oh fuck, I've got to go look at this place, and you don't need the work. You could roll in there looking like a slob or not being very enthusiastic, being like, look, I'll, say it's a $70 job, like I'll do it for $120. And you can still find success, but this is more for the people that are looking to grow. That need to grow. And you want to give yourself the best shot possible. 100%. So, you don't want to be rocking up with a durry in your mouth, even though I do that. No, I always ditch it before, but you don't want to be at someone's front door having a durry.
Yeah, that's it.
So what about your actual presentation of yourself, like uniforms, man? Like, what's your thought process on uniforms?
Well, my thought process, I just think people understand that we're not in a job where we're going into an air-conditioned office for 8 hours. People understand that we're going to be a little bit dirty, we're going to be a little bit sweaty and smelly and things like that. But still, I think having maybe a uniform, especially for employers, like if you don't hook your staff up with uniforms, I think Like, that's somewhere where you, like...
It sort of
great
means that
benefit.
you're not very invested in having that employee.
Exactly. And I can understand, like, I've heard a lot of stories about people having people for, 6 months. And I've bought uniforms. Like, I know how expensive they are. But I think it's kind of necessary.
If you want them to be a part of the team. Now,
Yeah.
my whole view on uniforms is I think we should have them.
Yeah.
I've always worn one. In the early days, when my first business failed, only after a year or two, I worked for wages at a retirement village, and we didn't actually you didn't have to wear a uniform.
At a retirement village?
At a retirement village, worked there as staff. They didn't have like a work shirt for you or anything like that. And, I always rocked up in me Steve Irwin rig every single day. And I just didn't feel comfortable rocking up in, boardies or...
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. Like, I've seen contractors work in board shorts.
I see it.
That is a red flag. Now, we are going to talk about cowboys a little bit more.
Yeah.
We're not against them.
No.
But
I'm not
if you're running a business and you're wearing boardies, that's a fucking red flag.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So look, I do think uniforms. Now look, when I go to work at Greenscapes Solutions today, I don't wear a Greenscapes uniform. I usually wear, like a hard yakka,
Okay.
Caterpillar, bad workwear, not white. But I'm always wearing some sort of work apparel, maybe a Catch Pro shirt, but always got my boots on.
Yeah. Well, you barely ever take your boots off, do you?
Well, now that it's summer, I don't live in them as much.
Yeah.
If I'm building catches and stuff like that, and just do whatever.
I love them, man. Got me bads on right now.
Yeah. So I do think boots aren't for everyone.
Yeah.
Some sort of work shoe, I think, would be recommended.
Yeah.
But when you've got your work boots on and you've got your uniform, whatever it is, I mean, have a look at this stunning piece of bloody art.
G'day, how you going?
You know that you're ready to work.
100%.
You're dedicated, you're committed, all of that stuff.
I've been lucky enough, like Skag Australia hooked me up with my own bearded lawnsman shirts, but now these are available on the Skag merch store. So
With the bearded bit?
No, not with the bearded
Okay.
bit.
No, that'd be
I mean,
cool.
maybe you could request it, but...
That'd be cool. I mean, I got a bearded lawnsman shirt.
Yeah, you do.
But
yeah, these are... I've already talked to Rob and I'm looking at getting some more for my worker, but he has TBL shirts. So,
yep.
We don't have the same shirts all the time. But
Of course not. No. I mean, look, I don't know that... I mean, there's just the two of you. If there was 6 of you, it might be like...
Yeah.
Okay, hey, this is what we're going to be wearing.
And it's cheap. Like, it is cheap enough. If you just want to hook yourself up with a T-shirt with your logo, I think you can get it. Even if you go to Vistaprint, it's like $30 a shirt.
So I know that, for years I wore like what do they even call it? It's like the button up.
Oh yeah,
cargo style.
Yeah, I know the ones. Like the typical hard yakka.
Yeah.
Is it a blue one or a khaki one?
No, I refuse to wear blue in our industry.
Okay.
If it's changed a little bit now, but like if you wore, this was before high vis was like a full on thing, but if you were blue, hey man, you could be a fucking Sparky, you could be whatever you know. So I always wore bottle green.
Yep. Oh yeah, you love the bottle green.
Always wore bottle green. It sort of showed, I'm a landscaper, I'm a lawnmower man, whatever the case is. Eventually, thank goodness, I just moved to a T-shirt, and that's what I just felt the most comfortable in. Mate, we just went for a black T-shirt with Greenscape Solutions.
Yeah.
Everyone used to compliment us.
Nice.
And it's because we looked comfortable while we were working.
And it's like, I think simple kind of wins sometime too. Like
less is more.
Like, I mean, this has got a little bit of high vis, but it's not
man,
super
that's
bright.
like full, like,
I fucking love this shirt.
Fuck yeah, I'm ready to work or party. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I could go out with this.
I know my worker, Rusty, he loves collared shirts, and I didn't make him wear a T-shirt, and So, like, we would have some promo gear, like, Bush Ranger, collared shirt, or we've had some other bits and pieces. And he's just always like, hey, just...
Pop in the collar.
Yeah, just, he just loves it.
Man, I love collared shirts. I've always... I think anything my wife has been like, I really like that shirt on you. I'm like, yeah, well, this is now my favourite shirt.
Yeah. And my other worker, DJ, he... absolutely loves his bad workwear.
Oh, really?
And he cranks the long pants in the Brisbane summer heat, and he absolutely loves them. And like I've decked him out with all bad workwear, and he absolutely loves it.
Bro, I love all the styles of bad workwear, but I am too fat. I've reached out to them and asked them for plus sizes as well.
Yeah, I mean,
they did say they're on the way, but. Fuck, man.
They're pretty good at listening.
I hope they are.
Yeah, so...
there's a big gap, and it's between my thighs. No, I really hope that they do listen, because they have some cool shit.
Okay, so with uniforms and work boots, we've talked about literacy a little bit. What about, your actual body language? When you're... meeting someone for the very first time, a lot of the... I mean, sometimes if they just need a fucking lawnmower, man, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But if they're looking to, let's say they're a little bit old school, they've had a mower guy for 10 years.
Yeah.
They're looking for someone else.
That's it.
How do you want to be carrying yourself?
Well, whenever I meet someone for the first time, I always... like really soften into the conversation. Like, oh, hi, my name's Brenton. I'm from TBL Property Maintenance. You called me for a quote. And I'm like really soft, and then like I'll gauge their response and how they talk back to me. And then, that's how I'll follow the conversation. If it's a little old lady, I'll be like, oh, it's such a lovely day today. How you been? And, I'll try and, feel them out, because they love that. Like they love... Absolutely. But if it's like 25-year-old dude, he's like, oh man, I need this shit taken care of. I'm like, yeah, bro, no worries. If
it was like a 25-year-old dude, I'd like full staunch him, mate. Just be like, oi, you gonna fucking get us to mow or what?
Fucking pay up now, pay early. But no, that's and I think like not only when you're doing quotes, but when you work in environments like ours, so villages, I think that's also a benefit. The way you talk to the people, especially at the oldies village, like they love you guys there. Like I go there and hi Benny, hey DJ.
Yeah, and we've touched on this in past episodes. I mean, we might even do like a village life. Let us know if that's something that you would like to hear. Just an episode around, let's say, full-time sites, or part-time sites, whatever, because your sites, you look after a few, and you might be at one site for 2 days, one site another day.
Yeah.
But we might touch on that a little bit further, because there's a lot of good business info that can be, relayed from that.
And that's one of the questions I get so much, because I do try and do that village work more than anything else. That's, what, I hit a milestone in my business, little sidebar. I actually turned away acreage.
And it's even worse?
You didn't want it either.
You tried to give it to me.
Yeah, dude.
And I also turned it away.
I know.
Who's the lucky bastard in Brisbane who's going to get it?
Benny Brown, I hope.
Benny Brown.
She was a lovely lady, and I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm really sorry, because I was going to go and quote it. And then I just sat down and thought, fuck, like, I'm so busy. What am I doing? Like, I don't necessarily need that work. It could be a magnificent property, but I have shredded all of the fat of my business. Yeah. And now I just have that lean, creamy goodness.
Well,
and
it's great to hear. If it was straight up mowing, I'd maybe look at it.
Yeah.
If it was anything else, gardening and stuff, I don't know.
I'll have to touch.
I can't hang right now, eh?
I'll touch base with Benny and see what it was, other Benny. But hopefully he gets it. Sorry about that. I had to. That just came to my mind.
No, man, that's cool. That's what we love. So body language is very important. What about so along with the body language, looking people in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like I said, not death staring them.
Yeah.
Unless they're a young punk and you do want to staunch them.
Or a cracky or something like that.
Well, if it was a smackhead, I'd be out of there.
You want to assert dominance. Make sure you pick up your divvies before I come.
What about, like, enthusiasm. You obviously did speak a little bit on it in your little intro when you sort of like, oh, hey, you called me right, but that is fucking awesome stuff.
Man, as soon as you walk through those doors, they'll be like, either like, oh, this guy likes doing what he's doing, or this guy fucking hates his life.
Yeah, so that is, that is an awesome point. Like, I was at Stratty recently and went to the bakery, and this girl that was in there was just such a bitch, eh? Like, just rocked up to the register. What do you want? And I just feel like saying, like, oh, how's about some fucking courtesy?
Yeah.
And I'm not that hard to impress, but you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking depressing when you just see someone just down, and you don't always know what's going on in people's lives, right?
Yeah, I do get that.
But at the same time, if you're trying to build a business and you're advertising, do yourself a favour and just put a full stop on the end of it.
Fucking smile on your dial.
Yeah.
Common courtesy costs nothing, and just get in there and get the fucking job done and win that quote.
Yeah, so body language and I think a uniform is really important.
Well, before you, like, if people are waiting for you, like, the first thing they see is you get out of your car or your truck.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's...
So, okay, quick, let's just touch on the truck. Now, there has been lots of conversations.
Yeah.
That, let's say you're running an absolute piece of shit for a truck.
Yeah.
There's been, conversations and things said like, okay, that guy isn't very successful. So I'll say that a little bit clearer. That guy isn't very successful, and that, there's like a stigma around that. I don't think that's fair.
No, I don't either.
I think if a contractor rocked up in a VN wagon, maybe we're getting a little bit to the point where we can judge.
Yeah, a wagon I can kind of see because you've got that backspace. I don't think cowboys wreck the industry.
Neither do I.
Bro, I think they have a place. Like,
fucking yeehaw.
I don't mind cowboys. I don't care about them. They take the shit. Like, there's people out there that do lawns for free. Like, there's so many people that trip on cowboys like, oh, they do it for so cheap. There's fucking people out there doing this shit for free. Like, I see it on the local page all the time. Offering free lawn and garden services. I just want to give back to the community. Or there's church groups. I'm not going to trip on them going and doing lawns for free. There's heaps of church groups that go around and do lawn and garden maintenance for free. Are we going to
do they want to do it for free for me?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's when people see people dragging a trailer along, might not be a pretty trailer, they might not have the best gear, they might be pulling it with a 1984 fucking Camry. That could be a pensioner that's just trying to live, man. Like, so
maybe, the advice, or at least we should shed some light on, is, maybe you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where you need to go back to, let's hide these negatives.
Yeah.
And let's accentuate the positives. So the positive side of that is you could be a really awesome, outgoing person who is excellent at lawn mowing.
Yeah.
Get out of that shit box.
Yeah.
And walk over there and just be like, yep, okay, and be confident. So we will touch on confidence as well, but let's hang around on cowboys for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I've said it a million times. You can go back to the archives and listen to this. I was a cowboy when I started.
Yeah.
A good mate of mine, Tyson Wilson, he always used to call me a cowboy. I used to work with him 2 days a week, and I had a registered business. I was insured and everything, but because I wasn't a franchise, he would call me a cowboy.
Yeah.
And it was never an offensive thing. It was just it was a bit of a laugh between us, but it was true. I was a cowboy. Just in the sense that I wasn't a pro.
Yeah.
Like the things that we're discussing right now.
That's it.
And so I probably did, it probably took me, and this because, what year are you in?
This is 6 or 7.
Yeah. I mean, you're already, like, in my first 6 or 7 years, it was not good for me. bit of an age gap that makes a difference.
Yep.
But at the same time, you know, like we didn't have the access to this sort of stuff.
No, not at all.
And there ain't no fucking way I was going to a seminar.
No.
So Cowboys, yeah, man, they have. Look, I don't ever remember in my greenscapes, like I don't ever remember at any point ever worrying about what someone else was charging or what they were doing.
Yeah. Oh, look,
I just didn't care.
There's a difference between a cowboy and a piece of shit. Because a piece of shit is a piece of shit. Like, that you don't know who's behind the driver's seat until you actually meet that person.
Yeah.
I've met tons of guys at the dump. Like, people will always approach me and have a look at my rig, have a look at the stuff I'm carrying. They'll be like, man, that's awesome. These guys have got...
Do they ever say...
Where's fucking racks, man?
Do they ever say, hey, can I get your autograph?
No.
Oh, come on.
But you know what they do? They take your card. Oh, where'd you get those racks? Oh, you're like, fucking, here you go, take a card.
And then I answer and I'm like, what's up, kid?
Yeah, you almost said the forbidden word.
I don't do that.
No, but like, there's obviously people who have had bad experiences where, like, I've heard of people getting followed by pieces of shit and people snaking their jobs. That's I think that's different to a cowboy. I think cowboys are just on the lower price scale. They probably don't have the best equipment, and that's probably why they're on the lower price scale. They don't have the best equipment, and they can't service people the same way that you or I can service.
And ultimately, they probably don't have the overheads that we have.
Exactly. So they can cut
which means the value of money becomes different.
Yeah.
You know, so if you don't have, let's say you're an $8,000 trailer that you financed with a $20,000 Skag that you financed, it is very, very different to someone who has, you know, maybe it's a good whippersnipper, maybe it's a good push mower, but maybe they own it.
Yeah.
They don't need to add finances and, you know, all of these different things into their hourly rates. Makes a big difference.
Especially the oldies, man. I love seeing the old dudes out there. I love having a chat with them because they could have been doing it for, you know, they retire at 60. They've been lawn mowing for 10 years and they've just got a select, you know, 20, 30 lawns that they'll service fortnightly. And
so I'd just quickly say, like, there's a guy, so at our village, we're not allowed to do any cash work.
Yeah.
We do all the common areas. We're not allowed to do the private property sections, which is usually just the backyards.
Yeah.
We have a separate contractor that comes in, not anything to do with greenscapes. He's his own business. He might be in his mid-50s. Super nice guy. But, and I know for a fact he charges like $30 an hour.
Yeah.
I've even seen him trimming hedges with the...
Ooh.
What?
Okay.
So
he's not doing topiary. He's literally trimming a full hedge.
He does a fucking good job,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you. So he does also have a mechanical hedger. I've seen him use one. But you know, hey, there would be people that would label him a cowboy because he's charging $30 an hour because he's using fucking shears. But like, I know this guy personally now because he's built up a lot of work there.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't need the same money that, like, he's as happy as anything.
Yeah.
He could pay all of his bills, you know, like he does a fair bit of work too. So
that's the thing. Like I said before, there's cowboys and then there's pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So the pieces of shit, all the hate should go to them.
Yeah, and I wanted to just briefly touch on one thing that you said about, you know, like a contractor following another contractor.
Yeah, that's...
You know, like, if you're a mowing contractor, and even if you are in a competitive environment, like, I don't condone any of that bullshit that goes on between contractors. You know, fighting for jobs and doing this and doing that. Like, you're not any better than them.
No.
If you're doing it. Now, I have been really political in my, you know, career before at villages. You've seen the downfall of that. You know, sometimes certain, you know, scenarios might warrant something, but if you let's say you're you're quoting a residential place and another contractor rocks up. Maybe they were scheduled to be there 15 minutes after you. Someone's getting quotes. I've been in that situation before. There's not really any need for any hate.
No.
You know what I mean?
I get... One of my villages, I get 4 or 5 different contractors coming through all the time. Like, there's a gyms, there's...
To quote the place?
Not to quote it, but
because I'd be like...
Yeah, I fucking wouldn't be happy with that.
But don't get me wrong, I would never do or say anything.
Yeah.
But I would think in my head, like, nah, fuck off.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, this is my fucking place here. And I'd be like, oh, what am I not doing right that there's fucking people coming through my village?
Yeah, I'd instantly get el buque neve.
Yeah.
But... like once you sort of get caught up in the bullshit, you're probably not as good. You're probably just as bad as them.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's all a part of carrying yourself as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any point on lowering yourself to that.
That's it.
Let's say you're in a scenario where it doesn't have to be like a big quote opportunity. It could just be a residential lawn. Let's say you've got a full day's work plan and you've got some quotes that you need to get to. It's hot, sweaty, whatever. It's probably not a bad idea to have a spare shirt in the rig.
Yeah, maybe some deodorant.
Yeah, that would help. Look, I think it's a good idea. But you don't want to also be like full mad smelling of deodorant.
Yeah.
Just because you're kind of putting like a smell over another smell.
Yeah.
But having a fresh shirt, I think, helps.
Yeah.
If you're like meeting someone at the end of the day.
Yeah, I get that.
Because you can get pretty damn dirty, right?
Yeah, filthy. Maybe like wash your arms or something like that. So when you put the shirt on, it doesn't get dirty straight away.
Is this something that you do?
I do. Normally, so the last shirt I had in my car, I just realised when I went to take a pool bath today at your house that I didn't have it on board anymore. And the reason I didn't have it on it was dog shit related.
Ew. Well, hey.
That's another good reason to keep one on board. Yeah, I got KO'd with some dog shit. It was only a little bit, but if I got a fucking shirt there, I'm not walking around with dog shit on my shirt all day.
Nah, man.
Just chucked it in the bag and away we go.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, look, it's not... it's hard for me to say because, like, I don't have one of those businesses where... Like, I don't do any quoting anymore.
Yeah.
I am, however, in a situation where sometimes I go and cut 2 acres and then sometimes I have to go and see, maybe a supplier or down at the factory, maybe we need to go over some drawings and I do exactly the same thing. I might not be super, super clean and fresh, but, maybe just bung different t-shirt on.
Does it make you feel a bit, like, better about yourself when you're clean as well, like when you're meeting new people?
Yeah, it's, I'm super conscious.
Yeah.
Like, I would always, obviously because I'm a smoker and I drink a lot of coffee, if I was going to have a meeting with anyone, I would have a piece of chewing gum in my mouth.
That's what I was saying.
It's just one of those things with me that, when you're talking to someone, I wouldn't be able to... I wouldn't feel 100% comfortable unless, I knew.
I feel you.
Okay, so let's talk about, we'll just recap for anyone who's jumping in now. We're talking about how to carry yourself presentation-wise, contractor etiquette.
Yeah.
Uniforms, work boots, body language, your odor.
Phone manners,
all of that sort of stuff. So let's say, we've covered all of those things. Now it's time to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
What's the number one rule?
I think reliability is one of the biggest issues, and you see it where people will message you for a quote because their last guy was so unreliable, and I think that's one of the biggest ones. And then after reliability, I think probably punctuality comes into it.
Yeah, good. Hey, that's great. That all comes under the etiquette title.
Yeah.
It's all...
It's all related. So... If you've got an appointment, it's kind of on you to keep that appointment.
Yeah.
Shit happens, like your
tooth coming out?
Yeah, like my tooth coming out. I was already short a day this week, and then I was short 2 days.
You know, like half your Catch Pro parts not showing up when they're supposed to.
Exactly. And you'd cop that shit, wouldn't you? Like fucking the delays.
Bro.
Man, like right now I'm waiting for something. It was supposed to be delivered on Christmas Eve, and it's now like 2 weeks later and it's still not arrived. I've rung Toll. I'm gonna fucking name and shame them. I've rung Toll multiple times, like every day. No one calls me back. No one, like, there's no numbers to get to. Like, I tried to message on Facebook. I tried to fucking nothing. Like, I'll never courier something through Toll ever again.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But, like, so now that's how you feel, when you put yourself back into a business environment, you know, okay, hey, we can book you in for 10 o'clock, you're going to do as best as you can to get there around that time.
Yeah.
And let's say you can't make that time, or maybe you can't make it at all.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe like a phone call instead of an SMS?
I think a phone call definitely is somewhere. It's like a bit smoother than a text message.
Yeah, it depends on the client. Like I have clients that I would potentially text just because I know they're cool.
Yeah, but that's a client. A quote is a bit different. Like if I was going to quote someone...
Oh, no, if I was quoting, I would never.
I would call. Like if I'm stuck in traffic and I'm going to be even 10 minutes late, I'll call and say, look, I'm, 20 minutes away. I'm stuck in traffic. I'll be there as soon as I can, but it might be like 10, 15 minutes after our appointment time.
So really, you were at the park hanging a turd.
Behind the bushes taking a bog in it.
But yeah, I mean, I think being punctual, reliable, all of those things, it matters so much in business.
It really does. Like with everything, like you rock up to a doctor and they're not happy that you're late, but if you
I'm not happy that they're fucking late.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, but even if I'm late for a doctor's appointment, I'll ring and say, look, I'm going to be like 5-10 minutes late. I'm really sorry. Because I know, like, they're pushed for time, especially in these times. But, it's just courteous to tell people that you're going to be late and like you said, I think a phone call's the way to go with most cases. Yeah,
I think in a quoting situation, if someone, if that's an appointment booked, they're obviously waiting for you. You're already setting that expectation.
Yeah.
And if you can definitely, if something does happen, let's just say each job ran 5 minutes over time, you might be 45 minutes late. Definitely giving them a phone call. Hey, we've had a tough day. We're on our way, but we're going to be late.
Yeah.
No, that's all good, cool stuff. So, like, even really piggybacking off that, you've got the job, or you've got, whatever jobs. You really want to continue to be reliable.
Yeah.
To satisfy that client.
I try to not lock myself in. Like most of my customers now are like, I'll rock up at 7 and I'll leave at 3, or I'll leave at 2:30 or 2, whatever.
That's that village life, boy.
That's the village life. But previously, like, I would try not to lock my residential time.
No, I'd always give 2-hour windows.
Yeah, it's if you're like, I'll be there at 1 o'clock. All you have to do is stop for a leak, and you're there at 1:15. Like,
So I was always the same. In a job environment, when you just don't know what I've sat with a customer for like 20 minutes just talking smack before.
Yeah.
And then if you're on a time schedule and you do that a couple of times a day, you ain't getting to that last job at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. You wonder how quickly the day goes. Like, you're like, where did my day go? Oh, it was the 15 conversations. Like 10 minutes of conversation, 10 lawns.
It'd be great. Definitely everyone let us know if you want to do a village, village life episode, because, just talking about, interacting with the rezos and stuff like that, like, I could probably say some pretty funny stories. And then not only that, these scenarios where, you're getting bailed up by all these people who sometimes don't have anyone else to talk to. It can be pretty entertaining. So
Superman got me the other day.
He's not even old.
He's not even old, man. He was not wearing a lot of clothes.
Yeah, I've definitely got.
We got some good stories. That might be a good episode.
We might just fucking do it anyway.
Yeah, let's do it for us.
But okay, cool. So, anything else on this topic?
Yeah, dude. Like I was thinking as we were going through the reliability and punctuality.
Yep.
Not just for you physically being there, but I think when you get a text or a phone call or a message or an email, I think getting back to that as soon as you can is also a good thing to do. Like waiting for a text or a call as I'm having the trouble with toll. I know that if you're looking for a quote for property, waiting for someone to get back to you is, it's a bit of a shit thing. Especially if you didn't get back to them, then they're not going to refer you. So
yeah, and like I said, this is, in a situation where you're busy, you're happy with your work, and you don't really need that extra client. A lot of this information, is not necessarily going to apply.
I think still getting back to someone, even if you don't need any more work at the time, I think if someone contacts you and says, leaves you a message saying, "Hi, my name's Virginia. I would love to get you out to give me a quote. I've been given your number or whatever by blah, blah, blah." I think it's a really good thing to call them back and say, "Look, I'm really sorry. I'm completely booked up for at least the next 2 months." That usually turns them off.
You know what I would be saying in this scenario?
What's your name, Virginia?
No, well, I would be wondering that as well. But it would be, oi, who fucking gave you me number?
Well, that's the thing. What if it's someone from
I'm just talking about like if this was me right now in Greenscape and someone called me like, "Oh, I got your name from so and so," I'd be like, "Who was that?" And I'd be pissed at that person.
But for me, what if it's someone on the committee to one of my biggest jobs that I've got?
Yeah, I mean, we would look at stuff like that. It's not like we're hunting it down. You can't ever. There's opportunities that let's say I live in Wynnum and it was a retirement village in Cleveland, something like that.
Yeah,
we would look at something.
Oh, no, I mean, like if someone from my village referred this person to me to do like a private garden.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
I would definitely call back and be like,
no, that's cool. Sorry. I was just still talking about me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, no, look, I definitely think, look, I know, like I said, it's different for me now with Catch Pro.
Yeah.
I try so hard to get back to people.
Not me.
You know what? I do. No. A lot of the time, I actually, like, if it's an email, 9 times out of 10, I always write back. It doesn't matter how silly the inquiry is.
Yeah.
One of our biggest flaws is that sometimes our emails will go to people's junk folders.
Oh, okay.
Because it's recognizing it as spam or whatever. That's one of the difficult things I have found with Catch Pro.
Oh, okay.
You got, and I talked about this before, but I've got my personal messenger, I've got Facebook Messenger, Instagram messages. We've also got Shopify Messenger. Then we have email. That's probably close to about it. And I get hit on every platform. We've also got YouTube as well.
And your phone calls, like your normal phone.
Yeah. So, yeah, my actual phone number gets thrown around quite a bit. So, with Catch Pro, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I always try and get back to people. But sometimes you get lost in the shuffle.
When you were blowing up, trying to get a hold of you was fucked.
When I'm building, and my phone's ringing and stuff, I don't answer it. You can always get back to that person, but with the text messages and things like that, I usually make time now at the end of a day to just go through all of those platforms.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, respond to this, and this. So, and there's, on any given day, 50% of those inquiries lead directly to sales. Yeah. So it's worth me doing.
Definitely.
I did see somewhere on social media over the Christmas break, this one contractor had like 90 missed calls.
Wow.
That might have been over like a 10 to 14 day period.
Yeah. It's still a lot.
There's no fucking way I'd be going through that.
No way.
And to not even, like, for me, let's say even if I was on holidays, there's no way I would ever switch my phone off.
No, I don't anyway.
I know, like, let's do some name drops, like Rob Shearer or say Paul Sheehan. When it gets to like 8 o'clock at night, they don't, you know what I mean? Like social media and stuff. It's quite often they'll be getting tagged and stuff. Yeah. But they zone out and they're like, no, I'm fucking done for the day.
Which is fair enough. Like
that's what I mean. It is fair.
They can do that. Like anyone can. Like you can, but you set that up when you're. You know,
I have not been able to do that.
No, you haven't. I mean, I still talk to Rob whenever, but. I mean, as a contractor, you kind of got to train your customers and sort of be like, hey, like after about 5:30 in the afternoon, I'm pretty hard to get a hold of. So if you need anything, contact me before then. Yeah,
I think if you're a contractor and you've got clients, it depends. I mean, you know, if maybe they want to know what time you're coming.
Yeah. I mean, I always advise that text message is the best way to get a hold of me.
If it's new business and someone had called me after 7 or 8 o'clock at night, I would probably I might get back to that person, but I probably wouldn't service their property just because they called me at 8 o'clock that night. No joke. In a lawn mowing environment, that's how
If it was a new customer, it was a big one, I'd be like, oh, what have I done? I'd be like, oh, this is about a window or something. And I'd be like, I was just wondering if you could come in and mow my lawn and not charge me as much. Oh, fuck.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot easier for me to give advice based on my past experiences rather than right now, because I do have a completely different attitude towards the lawn mowing. You know, we're really focused on catch pros. Yeah. So,
I'll stay in the industry, and you can do the catch pro side, and I'll grow. Well, I won't be that old school guy anymore.
I'll tell you what, it seems like, I mean, I'm not making a big effort to get out of it, but you know, I have sort of said like, okay, I think now I've built Cash Pro to the point where I really have to focus all my energy. Yeah. But at the same time, if I'm going to keep greenscapes around, I'm going to have a certain commitment to it. And right now, hey, we've got one employee dropped to COVID. We've got rain. The business needs me.
That's it. Got to do what you got to do to get through.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think it's about time, unless you had anything else, pal.
I think we covered pretty much everything.
Let us know what you think about this episode. This was kind of like, you know, obviously we kind of had a crazy week. We're not even shooting on the right day. It's a bloody Friday, and this episode's going to drop on Sunday.
Yeah, so I got some work to do, and I'm working tomorrow. I'm doing a village tomorrow, and I'm doing an acreage after that. So.
Wow. So we would want to hope that this is a straight shoot.
Yeah.
Let us know if you enjoyed this episode. You know, it was one that we kind of pretty much mostly freestyled everything.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We kind of know we have at the start of the week we kind of have an idea of what we want to do, and then when we get here we kind of just start chatting, and then we're like, why are we chatting? Let's fucking throw it on the camera.
That's true. Well, why don't we just tell them? So, like, when did we agree on this topic? So it is Friday.
Yeah, I'd say like Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I think Tuesday.
And we were supposed to shoot on Tuesday.
Yeah, we were supposed to shoot on Tuesday.
So yeah, I mean,
this week's a little bit different. Like we had Monday was a public holiday. I had bum mouth.
I went to Movie World on Monday.
You went to Movie World on Monday. Yeah, so it's been a little bit of a hectic week because I'm trying to catch up and hitting the dentist. I tried to get into another dentist just before I came here. I'm sorry, but all of our dentists are off because of COVID. I'm like, okay, no. I'm not coming. Fucking.
Everyone let us know too if you would. I mean, obviously we love all the suggestions that come in.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, I mean, we're going to be rolling forever.
Yeah.
We will touch on those topics, but also let us know if you think any sort of COVID episode you would want to hear about. And we're talking about COVID in the sense of how has it affected your business or maybe you personally, the industry as a whole, equipment, supply, demand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things that you can unpack in that one.
It's huge.
It's something that we had been thinking about, didn't know exactly how to structure it, but we can probably converse a fair bit over COVID.
We've been kind of lucky here in Brisbane up until now.
Oh, mate, we've been as cool as.
Now we're sort of getting to the pointy end of the stick. Shit shutting down. They've just announced today that school's not going back, bro.
Oh,
You fucking said last episode school's definitely going back. Fucking no, it's not.
It hasn't been confirmed yet.
Oh, they're saying 1 to 2 weeks at least until the kids 5 to 11 or something.
They don't go back for another fucking 2.5 weeks anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. Who fucking knows these days, man? They don't know what's going on.
That's true.
We're going to have to do rapid tests before we meet up.
I've never done a test.
Neither have I. I've been lucky enough to get away with it.
Anyway, hopefully we can all carry on.
Yeah.
And before we head out, just want to say a massive thank you to all of our listeners.
Huge thank you.
And we're out.
Yeah. Bam.
Booyah!